central United States. And now to your host, world-renowned wrestling commentator, Gordon Soley.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Continental Championship Wrestling. I'm Joe Pedicino from Pro Wrestling This Week. Unfortunately, Gordon Soley will not be able to be with us here tonight at the Botwell Auditorium. Gordon has had an unfortunate death in his family and is away tonight, and I'm very happy to be filling in for Gordon. I won't say filling his shoes, because I don't think anybody can do that, but I'm very happy to be here filling in for Gordon tonight. We've got a great night of action for you on Continental Championship Wrestling. We've got the Nightmares in action. We've got the Continental Championship, Sullivan versus Steve Armstrong. The Bullet will be in action. Plus, we've got a lot more action, including the return to the ring and to the area of Robert Fuller.
That's right, Joe, and if anybody can fill those shoes, man, you're the man to do it.
We're about ready now to go to the ring, Ron. We've got a lot of action on tonight's show.
Well, Joe, I'd like to say on your behalf, I know a lot of the people across the country recognize you automatically. Some of the people are not familiar. You're not getting the Gordon Soley tonight, but you're getting the man that's just as good here doing the commentary. And I know the people are going to enjoy tonight's program and looking forward to watching it myself.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the ring now. We've got our first match coming to the ring. So let's go to the ring and Scott Armstrong for these introductions.
And ladies and gentlemen, now in the ring, from the good old US of A, 431 pounds, the Nightmares. This match is one fall with a 15-minute time limit.
Well, we've got what ought to be a terrific tag team match here. The Nightmares, one of the most exciting teams in wrestling, taking on a new young team of Kim Keller and Pat Rose. That's Pat Rose starting off for his team against one of the Nightmares. Good clean break by the Nightmare. We've been joined, I guess you could say, here at the podium by the tag team champions of the Dirty White Boy and the infamous, I might say, Jerry Stubb.
Mr. Perfect. Now, you know you should have called me Mr. Perfect. You know it's a good thing that you're here, Joe, because you know Gordon Soley, he never calls it like it is. But I know you do because I've watched you. So you tell it just like you see it. Now, Gordon has a way of kind of...
Now, wait a minute. You're talking about a man who's a good friend of mine and one of the top wrestling commentators in the world, and I think we'll draw the line right there. You're right. I'll call it exactly as I see it. And I might add that a lot of times when I call it as I see it, you don't like it, as we know from the Atlanta area.
You know, me and you, we do get along sometimes.
Sometimes, usually when you're not in the ring.
Yeah, well, me and Gordon don't get along any. So.
Let's get to the match that's in the ring. We've got a great match with the Nightmares taking on Kim Keller and Pat Rose. Great move there by the Nightmare.
I don't know too much about this Kim Keller or who you're talking about, but I know a lot about Pat Rose.
Pat Rose is a top wrestler.
He's a tough individual, and you see the Nightmares, they're double quick. That's about all the good thing I can say about the Nightmares, is that they're double quick.
Well, I agree with you. They're quick, and they are good, and they have a lot of good wrestling knowledge. They're exciting. The fans love them. Yeah, that's about all they have going for them.
That's it. But, you know, just like you said, they've got all this and that going for them. But one thing they don't have going for them, they're not the Continental Tag Team Champions.
I understand that something may be being done to alleviate that. Let's go back to the ring. We've got the Nightmare in the ring now against Kim Keller, and that was a good release by Keller.
Well, you know, let me say something else about the Nightmares, other than they're double quick. They're also a team that don't tag in and out. They'll switch on you. You let that referee...
Well, now, there was a perfectly legal tag.
Yeah, you let them wrestle somebody that means something like me and the White Boy. Somebody that they can't handle. Somebody they can't deal with. And they'll start...
Yeah. Look at the moves. Talk about being quick. Look at this. I think we have to be honest to say Kim Keller right now doesn't know what's going on. He had no idea where to grab.
The boy just gets a slow start, but, you know, give him a little break here. Give him a chance. Let's see what the man
Another
can do.
perfectly legal tag by the Nightmares.
You wouldn't see that if the Dirty White Boy and Mr. Perfect was in there, because they don't do that. When the referee turns his back, they do their switching.
Well, you'll notice, to their credit, good ring generals, they've cut the ring off. Keller now able to get over to Pat Rose and tag, but the Nightmares had kept Keller over into their side of the ring for almost 6 minutes of this match. Now, into the ropes are coming off. Oh, a power slam, a power slam. That's one of those moves we've talked about with Pat Rose, and the Nightmare is down. Pat Rose looks like he's going to be taking now full advantage, a stomp to the face. Legal, I might add. It was with the flat of the boot. Perfectly legal. Now, Pat Rose, in my opinion, making a mistake, because even though he was able to catch the Nightmare there, I feel like the man should not go and waste time by going to the ropes. He gives the man an opportunity to catch his breath.
Yeah, but let me say something else. After that big power slam that Pat Rose gave him, he had a chance to go up to the top or even outside the building and run in and do something to him, because once you give him a power slam, he's going to have to lay there and say, oh, is it broke? Am I hurt? Where am I going? Can I get up?
All those vertebrae,
I don't think that's exactly what Ken Wayne was doing. Here comes your tag. There's another tag now. The other Nightmare comes into the ring, and Kim Keller, look at this. He runs into a whirlwind, an elbow.
I thought this was a wrestling match.
Hey, at the top of the marquee, what does it say? It says professional wrestling, not professional boxing, professional wrestling.
Well, if you'll notice, look at these moves. This is what I call wrestling. Look at this. Why? He's
coming off the top rope. Watch where he drops his leg. Look, right across the man's foot.
Well, I agree with you that he was coming off the top rope, but if you'll notice, though, the referee making the count 1, 2, 3, it's over. The Nightmares
came off the top on his throat. Well, he ought to be disqualified and thrown out of professional wrestling.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't see that clear. I will say that is.
Unfortunately, the referee didn't see it. Was behind his back because the other one got his attention.
Well, in some areas, that would be called good tag team wrestling. Let's go to the ring now for the official results.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the time of 5 minutes, 3 seconds, your winners, the Nightmares.
The Nightmares, the winners of that match, and I'm here at the podium now alone. Let's go back and take a look at that replay if we can and see that exciting finish on that match. What a great finish, that patented Nightmare move. I will admit it is off the top rope, and it is that leg drop across the chest. What a fantastic move, though, by the Nightmares. Earlier this week, Kevin Sullivan brought us a tape of an interview with the New Guinea Headhunters. Let's take a look now at that interview.
I'm here today to talk to you people out there, to give you a better understanding where I'm coming from. We're here today at a giant southeastern city. No, it's not Greenville, Tennessee. It's not Montgomery, Alabama. It's not Pensacola, Florida. It's not Knoxville, Tennessee, where all the East Tennessee Ridge Runners are from. It happens to be Birmingham, the pride of the South. You see, we have here two elements. We have my family, who happens to be the Headhunters and Chris Colt, and another family. That family happens to be people that ancestors, and you can look this up, were horse thieves. I'm talking about the Fullers, the Welshes. I'm talking about everybody like that. I'm talking about people that go and deceive other people, like the Tennessee Stud. Now, everybody in the world knows that Ronald Fuller is the Tennessee Stud. There's not another man in wrestling that's 6'11" and wears a mask. It's Ron Fuller. Bob Armstrong, the same thing. They've gone and deceived the people. You see, Westerners don't really understand. As you see right out here, these people, not just in the Southeast, but throughout the United States, are searching for life. They're floundering in the meaning of life. They haven't come to grips with reality yet. And reality is this. In New Guinea, the man is first. The man has gone through pain. The man has gone through suffering. The man has gone through everything to get to one thing, and that is survival. You see, in New Guinea, 100 years ago, my tag team's ancestors were headhunters. And because of this, I think they're a little more civilized than people from the South like Ronald Fuller, Robert Fuller, the Armstrongs, horse thieves. So what I'm saying is the headhunters know a place for women in their society. You know, a lot of women have come up and thrown themselves at the headhunters, and the headhunters have pushed them away because of two things. In New Guinea, the civilization was started with man. He is number one. And second is the dog. The dog protects the whole family. They're more important than a woman. You see, the New Guinea headhunters, you know what I'm talking about. They know where they came from. They know their ancestral roots. These men know what the job has to be done. You see, I told you a long time, Ronald Fuller, that to be a king, you'd have to kill a king. I love when you say that. Say that again to me. He kills me. Ronald Fuller, did you hear what he said? You killed me. He said it better than I could say it. He said, Ronald Fuller, the day is coming. Soon, you'll be ours.
What's the NFL Today
It'll be
reading?
Tuesday night, December 30th. The action starts at 8 p.m. at the Lavender Coliseum. In a loser leave town match, Steve Armstrong takes on the Mystic Kevin Sullivan. The Bullet takes on his arch nemesis, the Flame. And in a Southern street fight, the Tennessee Stud and Robert Fuller take on the New Guinea Headhunters. Plus, the Southeastern title goes on the line when exotic Adrian Street takes on the Hustler, Rip Rogers. The Continental Tag title is also on the line. It all starts at December Dynamite, Columbus, Mississippi, Tuesday, December 30th at 8 p.m. Be at the Lavender Coliseum. We're back now with Continental Championship Wrestling, and gentlemen, another time limit draw.
Time limit draw. You couldn't beat us, and I told you couldn't beat us, boy.
Well, let me say this.
What?
I was backstage when that match ended, and before I came out, I was informed by Continental Championship Wrestling that the no time limit match has been signed. Let's go to the ring to two very happy young men.
Oh, man, can you believe it, partner? Finally we get our wish, a no-time limit. That's exactly what we've been wanting, because you cowards will not stand up and be the men you say you are. You hide behind those belts. You're closet champions. Those time limits you've been giving us have been despicable. We want an hour time limit, a no-time limit, and that's what we got.
That's right, you know, because we never said you guys weren't good wrestlers. And it may take more than 30 minutes to beat you, or it may take more than an hour to beat you. That's why we want no time limit with those titles up, because then we'll be the champions, baby.
Well, they get it. It's a no time limit match. It's been 2 time limit draws, and Continental Championship Wrestling says that's enough. It goes to no time limit.
They couldn't beat us. I don't care. In 30 minutes, 60 minutes, boys. There's no way that you'll get these around your waist, boys. It don't matter if there's no time limit, no disqualification, or anything. It just doesn't matter, because neither one of you has what it takes to be true champions, and that means guts, boy, and you don't have any. So come on, it don't matter to me. The white boy will take it on, Jack.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special TV event. It is for the Continental Heavyweight title. Now in the ring, the champion, 265 pounds from Singapore, Mystic Kevin Sullivan.
Hey, your brother's supposed to be out here. You know that snot-nosed brother of yours? Is he a coward just like the rest of the Armstrongs?
And ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, 229 pounds from Marietta, Georgia, Steve Armstrong.
Well, I've been joined here at the podium by Tom Richards. And Tom, already this match off to a very, very exciting start with Steve crashing into the ring, but now they're outside the ring, and Kevin Sullivan doing his dirty work outside the ring. going right after the head of Steve Armstrong.
Well, there's one thing you got to know about Kevin Sullivan, and I'm sure Steve knows it right off the bat, and he's not going to waste any time when he gets in there, and that's one good thing he's got on his side. He knows how to get in and take care of business, but Steve Armstrong's no slouch. He's no slouch by any means. I've wrestled him, I've wrestled with him, I've been on both sides of the fence with him, but I know that Kevin Sullivan has got more tough and more things in his head, and Steve's going to have to be ready for him during this match, Joe.
Well, absolutely. I wonder a lot of times exactly what it is Kevin Sullivan has in his head. I agree with you on that. The Armstrong family, one of the premier families of wrestling, and we're seeing why right here. Steve Armstrong not one to stay down.
Definitely not. The Armstrongs have dominated wrestling, whether it's been here in the Continental area, Georgia, all over the world, all over the country. These Armstrongs are great. Look at that move right there.
1, 2. Oh, 2 count there. We almost had a change. We almost saw that Continental belt change hands right there on TV. You know, it's unusual. I think we should congratulate Continental Championship Wrestling for putting a title match like this on television.
Most definitely, Joe. Continental Wrestling does a lot of first in professional wrestling, and having the premier athletes in the southeastern area, such as Steve Armstrong and Kevin Sullivan, definitely hands it to him. I'll say that for a fact.
You know, this is an old cliche, but it sure fits this match. This could be a main event at any arena, anywhere in the world.
Most certainly, most certainly. And I was just going to say, that Continental title is no stranger to the Armstrong family, so I don't put Steve anywhere below any of the top challengers here. In fact, as you see right here, he is the top challenger for the Continental Championship belt. And Kevin Sullivan is going to have his hands full during this match. There's no doubt in my mind.
That's right. You know, Sullivan right there using the fist into the face of Steve. Now, Steve blocks that move, and he's able to take Kevin Sullivan and put Kevin's head right into the turnbuckle.
That's right. I've had a lot to say about the Armstrongs. I've knocked them, I've rocked them, but then I've got to know them. I've got to know the kind of men, the kind of moral standards they have. And I know the kind of moral standards Kevin Sullivan has, and Steve's showing his fight and his determination right there. So, you can't count this guy out, just like he's doing right now. He's taking care of some business, and he's showing Kevin Sullivan that the Southern boys can rock and roll, and they can sure fight when it comes right down to it.
Well, he's gone up now to the second rope where he's got more leverage, and as you can see, he's really working over Kevin's head. It looks like also, here he comes down, and now let's see what he's going to do. He's going to throw him into the other corner. Charges. You know, Tom, I think he telegraphed that a little bit too long. He sat there and waited, and unfortunately, Kevin had an opportunity to react. And now, this is where we're going to see the mystic, evil side of Kevin Sullivan, because he's got Steve down, and you know what Sullivan is like when he feels like he has an advantage on his opponent.
Well, Joe, I've said this before. Steve's a young wrestler. He hasn't been wrestling that long, maybe 2 years, but he's been wrestling against some top-notch veterans, and he wrestles like he's been in there. He's been in a wrestling family all his life, but once in a while, when you don't have all that much experience, you rush in once in a while, you get excited. He knows this is a title match. He wants to win bad, and sometimes things like that happen. But again, don't count this guy out, because I've got to know him these last couple months, and he's a heck of a man.
Well, let's face it, you know, his father, I'm sure, taught him a lot more than just how to wrestle. I'm sure his father also taught him about intestinal fortitude, or as we call it in Atlanta, just down-home guts.
That's right, and these boys are from Atlanta, so they know about down-home guts, and that Bob Armstrong's got more guts in his little fingers than a lot of people do.
Well, we said we were going to see the evil side of Kevin Sullivan, and that's exactly what we've been seeing, but Steve turns it around. He blocks that punch, and now, look at that. He's coming back. That's 3 straight blows. Kevin rakes the eyes. Now, here we go into the ropes. This is a dangerous part of a match. There goes the referee. A karate thrust. Obvious karate thrust to the throat, Tom. And now, Kevin, wait a minute, what's he doing? He's going to give him, no, he put him on the ropes. Can you imagine how devastating that had to be? Now, the referee is not there counting. Kevin is trying to count him. How devastating a move that is to take a man and drape him over the ropes. He's going to try it again. Wait a minute. He's got right down on the referee again, but there's no referee to count. There's nobody. 1. Look at this. Here comes Scott. 2, 3. Scott Armstrong's counting him out.
That's the way it should be right there, Joe. You're looking at a Continental champion.
Well, wait a minute, Tom.
He had it down for a 3 count, Joe. You saw it. You saw it.
But Tom.
That's it. No. You counted 3. We counted 3. Scott counted 3 officially. That's it. That's a new Continental champion. All right, Steve.
Well, I don't know. Well, Let's go to Scott Armstrong, and we'll see if we can get some kind of official decision.
And ladies and gentlemen, your winner and new Continental Heavyweight Champion, Steve Armstrong.
That's it. That's the way it should be. You counted three.
Tom, now, that's true, but now wait a minute, Tom. Let's be honest. Scott Armstrong is an official of Continental Championship Wrestling, but he's not a referee. He doesn't have a referee's license. He's not a referee. Now, I mean, I'm going to have to check on this, Tom.
I don't think it matters. I think everybody saw right here. We counted three. The referee was down. Scott just went in and made it official. 1, 2, 3.
Well,
you saw it, I saw it, and everybody out there saw it.
For the fans' sake, let's hope so. But right now, while we go to a break, I'm going to have to take some time during this break and see if that's an official count. And when we come back, we'll see if we have a new Continental Champion.
Because of the controversial match that just took place, they haven't decided whether to leave the championship. But as far as the three of us are concerned, the new Continental Champion is Steve Armstrong. But we're talking now about Columbus, Mississippi, and more specifically this Tuesday night about Carrollton, Alabama, right? I think you're wrestling over there.
That's right, Carrollton. I'm going to be there, baby, just like Columbus, Mississippi. I'm not going to be dudded up so sweet and pretty either, baby. I'm going to be dressed up for a street fight. That means boots, spurs down to the bone. We are going to kick some New Guineas, baby, all the way back to New Guinea.
That's exactly right. Now, that's on Tuesday night, December 30th in the Lavender Coliseum in Columbus, Mississippi, the best card they've ever had, and you get the chance at the title with Fleabag.
Exactly, the Fleabag. Listen, the Southeastern, we all agreed that the Southeastern fans deserve something better than a Fleabag for the champion, and it just breaks my heart to see my pretty pink belt going home with a Fleabag. He said I hit him with a foreign object. I am a foreign object. You can look out for some more. Fleabag.
Well, what about that cutaway? You're supposed to have...
Wait a minute. I never saw nunchucks used so good as that. I never seen anybody go down like that. Rogers went down last week. I loved it on television. I loved it. I love what just happened to Kevin Sullivan. All right, we're supposed to cut away, I think, and hear from another person in another dressing room. But we are in control of this interview, so we're going to go ahead and do the talking. On Tuesday night, December 30th, in Columbus, Mississippi, you will be seeing the Tennessee Stud and Robert Fuller Southern Street Fight against the New Guinea Headhunters. And Southern Street Fight means you can wear anything you want, bring anything you want to the ring, do anything you want once you get to the ring. The last man standing is the man that's going to win, and you know Southern-born, Southern-bred boys are going to win a Southern Street Fight. So on Tuesday night, December 30th in Columbus, Mississippi, we're going to be winners. You're going to win the Southeastern Championship. And Kevin Sullivan, if you buy your time next week, maybe you'll get a chance to talk to.
Welcome back, everyone, to Continental Championship Wrestling. Before we get back to more action, we've got a very special announcement. Some of you may be aware, although I don't think that very many of you would be, that we have a new Alabama state champion. It took place at the Oxford Civic Center recently. Let's welcome right now the new Alabama state heavyweight champion, Wildcat Wendell Cooley. Wendell, welcome.
Thank you, Joe. I just want to thank everybody for their support, and I want to let them know that the Alabama title's back home where it belongs, and it's not going to leave here again.
Well, it was a tough match with the Dirty White Boy. It took place, as we said, at the Oxford Civic Center. Why don't we give the fans now at home a treat, and let's take a look at just how you won the Alabama belt. We'll take a look at the VTR here. It took place, as we said, at the Oxford Civic Center. You're going up against the Dirty White Boy, and right now things aren't looking that good. You've got him, it looks like, no, he's got you there in a bear hug, but you're coming back strong.
That's right. You know, I got to hand it to the guy. He's a real tough competitor, and we had a lot of wild brawls for this Alabama belt. But you're going to see right here, things ain't going to go his way much longer.
Well, he's got you in the corner now, taking advantage of you, throwing you from post to post. Here he comes, but a good move on your part to get out of the way.
Well, that's right there, and you see we're both down, but I'm fixing to make that big wildcat stampede, as I call it, right there, because I know that this belt right here is fixing to slip away if I don't get up and do something. I'm fixing to show you right here, Joe.
Well, I think we should also tell the fans that we're quite a ways into the match at this point. We did pick the match up in progress, and we're quite a ways into the match. Both men very tired. Look at Wendell, that's one of the strongest back kicks. And then here you go into this patented move that really just seems to psych you up and get you going.
That's it, Joe, and we're about 30 minutes into this match right here. And yeah, that kick right there, that kick is the Wildcat trademark. And you see right here, he's going to feel the wrath.
Well, I think at this point, he's pretty much aware of the fact that he's in trouble, because if you'll notice, he's really going to the tactics that I like to call the backdoor tactics, the kind that he hopes the referee doesn't see, but it doesn't work. You're able to come out, and now look at this. We've got him in a sleeper hole.
Yeah, and you're going to see right here, Chrome Dome, his little crony's going to make his appearance to the ring. You know, lately I've been pushed around a lot, you know what I mean? For every step I take forward, they try to push me 2 steps back, but I'm not going to take it. I ain't going to stand for it, and I'm going to get me a little piece of pea head right here.
Well, I noticed that Stubbs does come to the ring, and he does get your attention. You're over trying to get him, but now watch the dirty white boy. He sees this, and I have a question I have to ask you. Did you know he was coming? Did you hear him coming, or did you see him because you sidestepped at just the right moment and he hit the corner instead and set you up perfectly for the stampede?
Well, I could feel the footsteps coming behind me, and I knew something wasn't right, so I was going to get out of the way and check out the situation.
Well, now that should have been it. He was down, obviously, for a 3 count, but at the 2 count, Jerry Stubbs came in, and look at that. He kicked the referee in the back of the head. Now, notice in the back of the head, at this point, the referee is not aware of who it is that has kicked him. All he knows is he's out. But the dirty white boy is out too. Stubbs puts the brain buster on you and puts the dirty white boy on top. Now at this point, had the referee come around, things would have went the other way, but I want to thank my good buddies, the Nightmares, who's fixing to come down right now, and I want to thank them for watching my back, and they're going to come in and they're going to do a little justice, if you know what I'm talking about, because the way I see it and the way I was brought up, turnabout's fair play. Well, I was going to say, my daddy taught me a long time ago that every once in a while there's a difference between fair play and justice. And I think this goes down under that justice column. Stubbs kicked the referee so hard he's still out. The Nightmares had time to come in and do their finishing move, put you back on top. Now, were you aware right now of what was going on?
I didn't know what was going on right now at this point, Joe. All I know I was in a big daze because that brain buster is one heck of a move right there.
There's your 3 count.
That's it, and there's the Alabama title coming home where it belongs, and it's not going to leave here again, I'll promise you that.
Well, I got to say this. You'll notice that the Nightmares were able to shake the referee and wake the referee. Stubbs not very happy, but there you are with that title belt, and you seem to be very happy about that title belt, and I can't blame you.
Well, I was a very happy man at that point because I worked hard at this, and I beat a lot of men in the tournament to gain this in the first place. And Jerry Stubbs and Dirty White Boy stole it from me, and I beat him right there in the middle, 1, 2, 3, with the Bulldog to take it back.
Well, you know, now they say that getting the belt is hard, but keeping it's even harder. And I'm sure that's what you're about to go through now, is the process of keeping and holding that belt. One man who is going to be a big challenge to you for that belt is Chris Von Cole. In a very unusual situation, Kevin Sullivan has purchased time on today's program. He came and asked for time, and the promoters would not give it to him, so he has purchased time. If you will, stay here with me, because I want you to see just what Kevin Sullivan purchased time for on this program.
I asked the promotion for time, and I bought time because they didn't want to give me the time, so I put out my own hard-earned money to show the people something. We're going to see a match from Birmingham, Alabama, with a capacity crowd, with a hometown favorite, an Alabama boy, so you know the referees are going to be slanting that way with a capacity crowd. They don't want to make these people a little angry, these Southern belles and Southern gentlemen, and I use that word loosely.
I'm glad you do, Sullivan.
You see, because Chris Colt took the Southern boy, Wendell Cooley, right now and whipped him.
I whipped him. Listen, there's one thing I want clear right now. I hate Americans. Number 1. Number 2, I hate hillbillies. I hate this part of the country. I'm down here because the toughest competition in the world today is right here in the South. Now, Wendell Cooley has an Alabama state belt. I want what you have, and I'll fight you toe-to-toe to take it. And when I win that belt, and I will, I'm going to have a photograph taken of myself. And I'm going to send it to Berlin, and they're going to make a great big poster of it, and they're going to laugh at Americans, just like I laugh at Americans. I left home a long time ago, and I lived in this country. You spoiled, rotten Americans are all alike. And when I go out to that ring, I don't like to hear USA. It throws my thinking off. Cooley, I want you. I want your belt. I beat you, I pinned you, and they cut it off. That match was brutal. That match was a lot of blood in there. And I'll tell you one thing. the next time you're down there begging me to stop you from kicking me, I'm going to kick your teeth out, then I'm going to pin you, and I'm going to take your belt, because I am advised by the greatest in the world right now, the greatest leader since about 40 years ago, and that is Kevin the Magic Sullivan. Now you watch me pin this punk right here.
Chris, this man has given you everything he can. I'm taking away nothing from Wendell Cooley. He's a top athlete in the world today, but he has dropped everything on you but the kitchen sink. Picks you up, slams you. The capacity Southern crowd. When I say a Southern crowd, we're talking about a bunch of illiterate people. You know, I heard today in Alabama, there's 62,000 illiterates in Alabama, and I think it was a convention here at the Boutwell Auditorium. Now you're moving, Chris. Nice move.
That punk ain't got nothing yet. That referee got in my way. I busted him. Anybody gets in my way, you taught me that, Sullivan.
What do you think
go way back.
See, authority, an authority member, Chris Colt does not like authority because there's only one authority that he dwells to, and that is me. As you can see now, the capacity crowd's on his feet, and I see Chris Colt up. Chris Colt's up.
And good. Why don't I have a German referee? Why don't I have a referee like you, Sullivan? You're one of the greatest leaders in the world since Adolf Hitler. I'm an offspring. It was 40 years ago we almost had a leader that almost made it. And you people down here, like I said, I hate Americans, and I hate hillbillies, and I hate the South. South.
Right.
I'm down here for the big money. I'm down here for the big money so I can buy me a piece of land, and me and Sullivan can do nothing but sit back and laugh at you idiots.
You see, right now, you have them on the floor. You're beating Wendell Cooley. The people are cheering at you. They're going mad. They've switched sides now because they can't believe the moves you're making to Cooley on the floor. Right now, he has dropped Cooley on the floor. You can see right there, he's taking a chair and beat Cooley again.
Sullivan, at that point, the man was crying. I saw tears coming out of his eyes.
You're trying to tell him you don't want to hurt him anymore. I can see exactly where you're coming from. You're telling Cooley you don't want to hurt him anymore. The Cooley is actually out on his feet. He ran into a low stomach punch, a low abdominal shot,
all around.
and right again, another look at Cooley. You know, Cooley probably didn't fare pretty well that whole week with some of his girlfriends or something. You see now, Chris, you got him on the floor. The people are pandemonium raised out. Boutwell Auditorium, a packed house. And let me tell you something. It's right here. This is the new Alabama heavyweight champion.
I love to fight, and the harder they come, the harder I like to fight. I like pain. Bigger they come, harder they fall. Cooley, me and you are going to have it out. I've been listening to this man day in and day out. He's got me in the gym. He's training me, and he's trying to make my head right. They took me off medication since I left the mental institution in Berlin right to San Francisco, and I feel a lot better now.
We'll forget about that.
I love you,
Let's
Sullivan.
forget about that. What we're going to do is this. Wendell Cooley, the Alabama state title. It's not going to be yours long, son.
Well, Wendell, obviously Chris Von Colt is going to be a tough challenger for that belt along with many others. And being in the camp of one Kevin Sullivan, the Mystic, you don't ever know what he's going to be doing. So it's got to mean a very, very hard future for holding on to that belt.
Well, that's right, Joe, and I don't care if you don't like country boys. I don't care if you don't like the South. And I don't care if you don't like being in the USA. If you don't like it, pack your bags and get your booty out of here, buddy, because I'm going to promise you one thing. I don't like you either, and after what happened the other night, Chris Von Colt, you're number one on my list, and I'll give you a shot at this anytime you want it, Daddy, because Glenn Campbell said it best one time. My door is always open, and my path is free to walk, and if you want to take that journey, baby, come on and get it.
Obviously, he's not going to be a closet champion. Wendell Cooley going to be a fighting champion. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more on Continental Championship Wrestling. I'm back now to Continental Championship Wrestling. Roy Lee Welch and Chris Colt.
Let me tell you something. I'm tired of fooling around with you, Pritchard. I'm the king of wrestling. I'm the true United States Junior Heavyweight Champion. You've been sporting that belt around, telling the people that you're the champion, that you're the best, but everybody knows who the real king is. I don't care if you want a strap match, a Texas death, a loser leave, a Texas bull rope. I don't care. I'm the king of wrestling. I'm the king of any kind of match you want to get in the ring with me, mister.
Let's take it to the ring. I think he might have some comments about that.
How about it, champ?
Well, I want to tell you something, Chris Von Colt. You want a shot at this Alabama title, well, all you got to do is put your name on the contract. Obviously, you're man enough to do that. because it's already been signed and it will be delivered. I promise you that. Now, you're 1/6 sadistic man, I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to ship you right out of here, buddy, before it's all over with, and that's a promise.
How about it, Dr. Tom? He said any kind of match.
Listen, I've been coming out here a long time making fun of Roy Lee, saying you're the Imperial Margarine King of Wrestling. Well, let me tell you one thing, Roy Lee Welch. I'm tired of laughing. I'm tired of messing with you. Anything you want to do, I'm ready to get this thing over with because I'm real bored with beating you up.
Back to you, Joe.
Well, some interesting comments from Tom Pritchard and Mr. Coates.
You know what a happy man I am tonight. I'm a happy German tonight. Number one, it's a great pleasure to stand here next to the king. Number one, I have my contract signed for the Alabama State Championship belt. And I want that belt. I'm going to take you, Wendell Cooley.
Get these tackles here.
Yeah,
make sure you're real still. Let me get the tackles.
Make sure you get it good tight, because the last two matches, they almost got this thing off. This time tonight, when we get this match started, let's really dig into them off the very beginning, because they got a real habit of coming on real strong at the beginning of the match. Sometimes you can't hardly get control of them. We don't get control of them sometimes until 5 minutes into the match.
Yeah.
So tonight, let's try to get control of them off the bat, okay?
Makes sense.
Make sure you put that thing in there good and tight, too.
Get it up. I'm already double tight.
Pulling down there. And Sullivan, ain't nothing we can do about Sullivan except just keep an eye on him. Okay, all right. I'm gonna bank on you taking care of Sullivan tonight, then.
She's in tight.
Because you don't try to have a problem with him all the time.
Looking good, son.
Okay, we're both good, baby. We're going out there. We're going to win this one for Jimmy, right?
That's it.
We're going to win this one for the Golden Boy. Let's go get him.
He'll be proud of us.
Let's go get him.
Welcome back to Continental Championship Wrestling. We've been joined here on the podium by Robert Fuller and the Tennessee Stud. Now, we've seen a match that took place, we were going to the ring on a match that took place recently between you and the Headhunters. And guys, we were going to come here now, and at this point, we were going to show the end of that match and show the devious method that was used by Kevin Sullivan and the Headhunters. But I'm being told by our people in the back that somehow or another the tape was erased all the way up through the end of the match.
Yeah. Well, you just said the devious methods. I don't know what Kevin Sullivan has to do with the production company or with whoever and how he gets part of a match erased. But what he did is right here in this particular building, took a spike out of his tights and stuck it into my brother's throat here and caused us to lose the only match we've ever lost to the Headhunters. We've beaten them in several places around the country, and we would have beaten them in that particular match had it not been for Sullivan's interference. But I think they still have part of this match, don't they, Joe?
We have it after the 3 count. We don't have it up to the 3 count, but we have what took place afterwards.
Let's take a look at what happens afterward, because that's just about as important as what happened in the match. Now, you can
here's there's the 3 count just took place, and there you are going into the ring, obviously very upset with what happened, trying to explain to the referee what happened at this point.
I'm upset. I got that goop laying across my body, man. I got plenty of reason to be upset right there, and it's Kevin Sullivan's fault.
And you can see right here, Sullivan and his men are kind of celebrating their victory, but he better not turn his back on me, because I'm going to be just like he is. Here I'm putting a little whaling on the little pudgy boy's noggin, and the Headhunters have to come and save him like they always have to do. You can see here they're going to stop me, and they're going to throw me over the top rope, and they're going to proceed to try to break the hand again.
Well, you know, they've already done that once, Robert. And now it looks like here they go again, and it's going to be one of the favorite tactics of Kevin Sullivan. He rams your hand into that iron post.
There, you see, he's ramming my forearm. He's trying to get to my hand. To get to my hand, you got to get through 1.5 inches of cast I got on right here. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world. And the one mistake he made right here, instead of jousting on that arm above that cast, he's hitting right on it, baby. And I'm going to tell you something, Kevin. I don't know where you got your brains, man, but if you had any sense, you'd know you're going to hit the arm on this cast. You can hit it all day long. know I'm going to be hitting you with it. I guarantee you that, boy.
Yeah, we've seen enough of that. I don't want to see any more of that video. I don't understand to this moment, Joe, what happened to the video. I can't understand how it ended, but I can't understand that Kevin Sullivan, you're not only a devious in the ring, you evidently got somebody working for you outside the ring. But it's not going to keep these people from smartening up to what kind of jerk you are. They know what you are. They know what the headhunters are. They know what Chris Von Colt is, and none of you are going to get the job done here, Daddy. Me and Robert Fuller, and sooner or later, Jimmy Golan's going to be back here in this area. And when that moment comes, we're going to start taking our toll, too. We're going to start kicking some butt and start taking care of business like it ought to be taken care of, Joe.
Well, Joe, I can tell you, baby, we're going to be making a new video for the future. It's going to read a little different. Am I right, Stud?
Exactly right. Now, I know that you've got something that's about to take place out here. The Armstrongs, I hear that they've decided they're not going to allow the Armstrongs to keep the champ. I think that's wrong. I don't think it's right. But I'm going to have to agree with whatever the officials decide upon. And I hate to see it happen because I think, in my opinion, Steve Armstrong ought to be the Continental Champion right now.
Well, I think it's obvious he did have him down for a 3 count, but unfortunately, and I think they're going to have to agree, Scott, unfortunately, you are not a licensed official by the NWA. You are an official of Continental Championship Wrestling, but you are not a licensed referee.
Yes, sir, you're right. You know, I'd like to apologize to my brother Steve. I'd like to apologize to the people. I got caught up in the excitement of the moment. It's my brother, and I was doing the best I could.
Just wait a minute.
Don't try to suck up to Mr. Pedicino just because he has a nationally syndicated program. You made a mistake. Did I hear you say you made a mistake, boy?
He admitted that he got caught up in the excitement.
Yes, I did make a mistake, but there was not a mistake that your shoulders were down for more than a 3 count. And like he said, I don't have a referee's license. I am with Continental Wrestling. I apologize to my brother and to the people. And as much as I hate to do it, the man was beat, but I do have to return the belt.
So the championship belt, the Continental Championship title, does get returned to Kevin Sullivan.
Scott, I understand what you're trying to do is save your job. You know, your brother made a real bad. Wait a second. I got something to say, Mr. Pedicino. I understand this, Steve, and why Scott stole the belt. It's inherited. Their old man's a thief. His father was a thief before him.
Let me just say this to you, brother. You took that belt back on a technicality. Next week, right here, you've got to defend against me for that belt. Me and you for that belt next week. And right now, I'm going to take some business.
The Bullet gets a championship match next week on Continental Championship Wrestling. The Bullet gets a championship match for the Continental Heavyweight title with Kevin Sullivan. Right now, we're...
Just say one thing, Mr. Pedicino. I can understand why the boy stole the belt.
Now, wait a minute.
Genetically, it happens. It's a hereditary thing. You understand? A thief begets a thief. The father's a thief, the son's a thief, and I'm such a wonderful person, I'm not going to lose his job. And it's great to have you on the program, Mr. Pedicino, because you can tell top quality, and you can see that I'm no thief.
Let's go to the ring for this match with the Bullet.
Ladies and gentlemen, from parts unknown, the Bullet! Well, the Bullet obviously not in a very good mood.
attacked by Eddie Sweat before he even got in the ring, and now he's taken a very short time in convincing Eddie Sweat that that was not a good thing to do. Obviously, the Bullet upset about the things that have happened on today's program, having to watch young Armstrong literally hand the belt back to Kevin Sullivan. Now the Bullet going in for a figure four. That should be it. He's got him right in the middle of the ring, and I don't think Eddie Sweat will be able to take this. The Bullet, one of the masters of the figure four, and we're right. He's not able to take the pain and the punishment. And now the referee explains to the Bullet that he's going to have to let go on that terrible hold, the figure four leg lock. And Eddie Sweat learns it's not a good thing to attack the Bullet before he gets in the ring, especially when we find him in the bad mood that he's been in today. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with more on Continental Championship Wrestling. Tuesday night, December 30th. The action starts at 8 p.m. at the Lavender Coliseum. In a loser-leave-town match, Steve Armstrong takes on the Mystic Kevin Sullivan. The Bullet takes on his arch-nemesis, the Flame. And in a Southern street fight, the Tennessee Stud and Robert Fuller take on the New Guinea Headhunters. Plus, the Southeastern title goes on the line when exotic Adrian Street takes on the Hustler, Rip Rogers. The Continental Tag titles also on the line. It all starts at December Dynamite, Columbus, Mississippi, Tuesday, December 30th at 8 p.m. Be at the Lavender Coliseum. All right. I've been joined by Kevin Sullivan and his army. I've seen some of the interviews that have taken place here with you, and I'm going to tell you right now, this one is going to stay calm.
You know, Mr. Pedicino, I'd like to say this. It's been a pleasure for having you here, a host of a syndicated program. And, you know, they said a tape was missing.
I want to talk to you about that.
It isn't a coincidence that you're here and the tape's missing, is it? Because evil lives in everybody's heart, Mr. Pedicino. Even the good doers, you know, showing up. I don't want the people to think that you had anything to do, that you and I are friends.
We're not.
I don't want people to think that we're friends that had something to do with this tape. But I'm going to tell you this. The Armstrongs, I got rid of Brad Armstrong and sent him packing. And there's a young man whose brother counted a 3 count and tried to steal my belt. But thank you again for intervening on my behalf.
I didn't intervene.
I know how you're supposed to be unbiased here. So now, I have something to say to Steve Armstrong. Steve Armstrong, I'll take you in a loser-leave town, and I'll take your old man who thinks it's Halloween every day, Continental title anytime, and my man Chris Colt, he'll face any Alabama champion. Like you said, Chris Colt would become a great...
Do you know how happy I am? Do you know how happy I am? I love headhunters, and I love Kevin Sullivan. I hate America, and I hate the South.
That's enough of that.
Yes, it is. You know something? Mr. Pedicino said that he thought on the break that you become the greatest Alabama champion in the history of Alabama.
I never said that.
Listen, I know you can't say this on TV, but on the break. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I've gotten rid of one Armstrong. I'm getting rid of all the Armstrongs and the Fullers, and there's 2 of them in the ring right now. Let's make it no DQ.
I tell you, I understand now what Gordon Soley means about how tough it is to talk to you and have it make sense. Let's go to the ring and Scott Armstrong.
How about it, Bullet?
I just want to say one thing to everybody in this universe. There is only one flag that I salute, and that's the flag right behind me and brother. I salute that flag anytime. Now you can bring Abdullah the Butcher. I hear you bringing the Flame back. And brother, I got you next week in a Continental title match. I don't care who it is. But one thing about it, first of all, I am an American, and that is the American flag, and I love it, brother. I don't care where you go or where you come from. I'll salute it every time I see the American flag. I learned it in the Marine Corps. Okay? Come on.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, all chaos has broken loose in the ring. Kevin Sullivan and his army went running to the ring, and the Armstrongs, along with the Tennessee Stud and Robert Fuller, came in. Now, all 8 men in the ring, and as I said, all chaos has broken loose. During that break, I was informed by Kevin Sullivan, he has brought in, listen to this, the Flame is coming back, and the wild man from the Sudan, Abdullah the Butcher. I don't know what he meant, but he said he is a risen Abdullah the Butcher, and that Abdullah will be coming back to Continental Championship Wrestling. Next week, we'll have the Bullet versus Sullivan for the Continental title. Exotic Adrian Street will also be on the card. We'll see Pritchard versus Welch. You're going to see Kevin Sullivan and his army, plus many more, and more news on the Abdullah the Butcher invasion of Continental Championship Wrestling, along with the Flame. Gordon Soley will be back next week. Till then, I'm Joe Pedicino. We'll hope that next week we'll be able to bring